Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 3 here, and I have company with me today. So you're gonna hear my puppy because she just woke up and wants to play. I didn't do that very well. I was on a call and she was sleeping in her kennel, and I should have got her up before this. But so I apologize in advance that we have a puppy in the background. But for those of you that don't know me yet or are new here, my name is Janice Gallant, and I am I am a teacher. I am an artist, and I am a creative spirit spirit coach. It's always hard to get that out because it's like there's so many things wrapped up in that title. So what that means is I just okay, you guys, come here. What that means is I help you find your creative flow to empower your life and to intentionally create the life of your dreams. Okay, just a minute here. Come here, honey bear. Come here. Um, oh, we'll introduce you. Here is the one making all the noise. This is Honey Bear, and she is 10 and a half weeks old. So she is definitely going to be making herself known here, obviously. Okay, baby, you get down and play. What? All right. So sorry about that, guys. So I hope that you saw yesterday's uh, live and that you were able to take some time. If you weren't on live, that you were able to take some time to listen and to do the meditation. Hey, Sandra. Hi. Yes, I'm a new puppy mom. It's a lot of changes here. And I'm going to have to maybe stop and get her a bone to chew on. So, yesterday we talked about the fact that you're an infinite creative being, that immense energy of presence that you have, the higher you that you have access to, that you are more than just what's in this physical body. You are so much more, right? Um, and so today we want to talk about, how do I create space to bring more of that beautiful energy in? So hopefully you saw yesterday and the day before because they all build on each other. And I just giving this to you so that you can start to begin the shifts. And you may be perfectly fine with your life. You may be, oh, but I'm really happy, Janice. So what do I need this for? It's like because we are conscious creators. We're creating every day, but if we're not conscious creators, then things can go sideways pretty easily. And maybe there are things in your life that you want to shift. And so this is the way we begin, right? We just stay the course of nurturing that relationship with our heart, of realizing that we are powerful creators, and we do the work day to day to clean out the debris that keeps us from bringing in more of that creative, powerful energy so that we manifest quicker, right? So, what happens when you get really clear, when you start to clean out everything, all that lower energy, the heavier energy, is that your manifestations come to you quicker and quicker. And you feel so good, right? So, I do have a course that is called Clearing Debris Through Forgiveness, but that is not happening until February. So if you feel like, oh, I got so much to do, you can maybe think about that for February. But today, I want to give you some. I want to help you feel into what it feels like to let go of some of that stuff, right? There's one thing that 2020 has really shown all of us is that there's a lot of stuff we don't need anymore, right? And we've been letting that go. We've been like cleaning out closets and basement shelves and cleaning out clothing that we no longer need and giving it away if we can. I have a box of shoes in my garage that, I can't find anywhere to take them at the moment, but I'm just giving this stuff away because I don't need it. And there's so much clutter, right? And it feels so good when we empty out that clutter, when we let go of it and we create space in our house. And even if it's in your basement, you know, when you clean out your basement, you clean out those shelves, you actually, you could be standing in your living room, but you feel that clear energy in your house. You can feel it, right? That's a great feeling to have, right? So our hearts are crying out for us to keep going with that clearing out in our life, right? We need to clear up the space within our bodies. That's a whole different story. So we can't receive anything new, right? We can't receive anything new if you have a closed cup. You can't fill a cup up if it's got a lid on it. You can't fill a cup up if it's already full. So we need to open, consciously open. We need to consciously clear out to make space for the new, right? There's a whole lot of willingness in there. And we're going to talk about your will on Saturday. But right now, we just need to realize that we can't go into 2021 carrying all this heavy energy within us. So we all know deep down it's time to clear out that energy. It's time to lighten the load so that we can receive more. Your infinite self is energy, right? It's pure, beautiful, divine potential energy. But so are your emotions, and your thoughts are energy forms, and the feelings that you have holding inside of you are energy. Okay. And in fact, we even have, just making sure she's not chewing on anything. In fact, we even have ancestral patterns that are, you know, in our cellular memory. They're taking up space in our bodies. And it's time for us to clear that out. And we are doing a favor, because when we clear that out, those old ancestral patterns, then we clear it for our ancestors, and we clear it for the future generations that we have coming after us. So it's time to let yourself off the hook. It's time to let it all go, right? It's time to ease up on all those heavy emotions that are keeping you like tethered down to lower energies. And the lower energies are lingering here in the world, but we're all rising in vibration. The whole earth is rising in vibration. And so like even the, not just the world, but the earth itself, right? And it's becoming more and more difficult to stay in these lower energies, right? And lower vibrations. And you just can't do it anymore. And you might be there, you might be feeling that. It's like, I just can't deal with this anymore. I just want it gone and out of my life. I want to move on, right? And this is why there's so much coming to the surface right now. And there's so much coming to the surface in the world right now, right? It's time to let it go, right? So it's time to let go of, you know, the blame, right? The blaming on yourself and on others. Those old stories and narratives, like I was talking about yesterday, the old stories, let them go. It's time for them to go. It's time to let go of any shame you may be carrying on, right? Let yourself off the hook. Let it go. It's time to let go of guilt, right? Just forgive yourself, forgive others, move on, let it go. It's time to let go of resentments and playing those stories over and over in your head. That's taking up precious space within you. Let it go, right? It's time to let go of anything that any old identities that you thought of yourself as, right? Any old stories that this is who I was going to be, or this is who I wanted to be. You know, authentic is the word of the year. And I think that's going to continue on through next year. It's time to find that authentic inner being of you and start to live from there. No more playing the roles of what other people expect from you, right? It's time to let go of those roles and those dreams that maybe don't fit anymore. You're the creator. You get to decide. You get to just paint over it. So like a canvas, like I could take one of these canvases and decide that, gosh, I'm kind of tired of that. I'm going to just paint over it, paint something new. You get to do that in your life. And of course, letting go of your possessions that you don't need in your physical space, old habits and patterns, right? It's time to wake up to them and make a change. Ancestral patterns of lack, the struggle, the poverty, the sickness, the survival. That was what our ancestors went through. We're living in a different time now. We can let that go. They lived a very difficult life, living through the Depression, the Dirty 30s, the World War I, World War II, that lifestyle is gone now. We have a whole new world here, so we get to let it go, right? So you might be all thinking like, okay, that's great, but how do I do this? How do I let it go, right? And I'm telling you that it is a journey. It's one little movement of the needle at a time. So one little step, one day at a time, 1 month at a time. It comes back to committing to you and your practice. It deciding and being willing to make the changes that you want in your life. So you might not know how to do this, and it doesn't really matter. That's part's not for you to worry about. The first thing that you need to do is get into that space of, something needs to shift, right? Being willing to let it shift. Yes, she's saying that. Yes. Yes. All right. So that heart-centered willingness, right? That being in your heart, that's where you begin. So you know the point, and I'm sure you all have been here before because you're soulful women, right? You've all been in that spot where you've actually fallen to your knees and just begging God or the universe, like, help me, I can't do this anymore. I've been there a few times in my life, and I do remember very clearly that yearning for something new, that yearning to let go of the weight, the having someone to come in and help me, please, because I can't do this anymore. And I can remember specifically many years ago on my bathroom floor, sitting on my floor crying. And this was right before the bankruptcy of my then business. And I was just so exhausted of trying so hard to make it happen and struggling and living in fear every day. The phone would ring and I was afraid to pick it up because I knew it was another bill collector. Just feeling my world crumbling from under my feet. And I remember sitting down on my bathroom floor and just crying and just saying, I can't do this anymore. I need help, right? That is that heart-centered prayer, right? The heart-connected prayer saying, God, universe, whatever is out there, you gotta help me. I don't know what to do anymore. And it's like handing it over to the universe, just saying, take it. I don't care about anything anymore. Just take this, please. Take this weight off of me. That's where you start. Whether it's a big thing or a little thing, you need to just stop and ask for help. Be willing to let it go. If you're not ready to let go of the old stories, the old patterns, then it won't happen. You have to be ready and you have to be willing and you have to say, I am so done with this. Please take it. And that's that's the point that things shift, right? So be willing to lighten your load, right? That's when you call in the help. Set the intention very clearly, set an intention that you are going to consciously create a new life that no longer has this heaviness within it, that no longer has the pattern that you're trying to get rid of. Maybe the pattern of survival, like I had, it was all pure survival. And that was not only within me, but it was my ancestral pattern, right? When I did that, everything came together, right? Things started to come to me. People started to come to me with solutions. I had to take the steps to follow that, but they started just appearing in my life. And as soon as I started to take those steps, that's the time when I met my shamanic teacher and she invited me into her circle. That's when everything in my life started to change, right? That was beautiful. So when you start to say, take this from me, it's like you are taking this shadow within yourself and handing it over to the divine. And that's literally what you are doing. You're just taking it from your body and saying, please take this, and allowing the divine to take it. We don't want to say, okay, get out of my body and throw it back to the world. That's not going to help anybody, right? We want to take that shadow energy. We want to take that heaviness. We want to take that old pattern, that old guilt, that resentment, whatever it is, and hand it over to the divine and say, I'm willing to let this go. And that's where it is transmuted into love, light. And that's what helps the world, because the more shadows or dark energy that you take and you pass into the light and it's transmuted to love, the bigger the light gets, right? It's like getting rid of it. It's like a balance, right, of that shadow and light. The more you can transfer that shadow into light, the more light there is in the world. Sounds crazy, but that's what I see. That's what I've been guided through the years. And as we go through the years, this stuff just comes up. You become aware of where you are holding that energy slowly every month, every day. You kind of go, oh, this is where I'm holding that energy. Okay, let me shift that. I am willing to let this go. I am willing to forgive myself for holding on to this energy for so long. I'm willing to forgive myself for holding this resentment for so long, right? And we just pass it on. And that's light just comes flooding through for us, right? So 2020 has been a gift for us. It really, really has. It's been a gift that has brought forward all of the areas that we can let go of, all of the shadows. So sorry. All of the shadows that we can move out of our body, because as we let that go, as we let that go, we create more space to receive. So then we're bringing in more of that beautiful, divine, powerful energy to be able to use and create with in the world. So beautiful. It's so much fun when you start to see it this way, when you start to work with it like an artist in your life. You start to go, okay, where else can I clean house? What else can I get rid of to create more light in my life? Right? Oh, I love it. All right. So all of that's coming up through 2020. We need to start letting it go so that in 2021 we have a lighter load. You know, it reminds me, the other day I was reading a book to my students. It's called The Grave. And it's a really, really great book. But within the book, um, there's this older man that tells the young boy who's an orphan boy that perhaps his mother had to let him go to lighten the load. Now, this is kind of a negative, not the best example, but it reminds me when he said, when ships can't get where they need to go, they lighten the load, they throw things overboard. And so this young boy is like, what? You mean that my mom had to throw me overboard because she was sinking? And the old guy says, well, it's possible, right? So it gave the boy a different perspective of the mom that he thinks left him. In the end, she didn't really leave him, but in the story, it's that, lighten the load. If you feel like you're sinking, lighten the load, right? That's what we need to do. Lighten the load so that we can rise up in our vibration, rise up in our energy, and start creating from a whole new place. You don't want to create if you're in a bad place right now and you're not happy. You don't want to create from that space. You want to clear that house out and start to create from someplace new. This is what we do, one step at a time, right? This is why I've created the long-term circle for us, kind of a group that we can all walk this path to enlightenment, because it's just a little bit each day, each month, a new theme, each new awareness. We bring it in, right? It is so important to get rid of that old energy, bring in that new light. So we'll be creating like a brand new life filled with ease and joy and abundance. And I was just listening to Lisa Nichols this morning, and she said, I heard her say, abundance, excuse me, abundance is a 360-degree experience. I love that. Wealth is linear, but abundance is 360-degree experience, right? This is what we want. We want the full experience in this life, this beautiful gift of a life that we have. We want the full experience. So no more knowing that we have this potential. Now we want to experience it. We want to bring it into our life. We want that fullness now. So just think about it. By this time next year, you could be living a whole new life, right? It just gets better and better and better from here. There's no need for it to go backwards or to get worse. It just keeps getting better and better and better. Why not? You're the creator. And as you circle up with like-minded souls, like-minded creative souls, this is the energy that you'll be creating in your life, right? You hold that energy within a circle, within a supportive group. We need each other. We need to keep building that energy together of a whole new world, envisioning that into existence, bringing it through, right? And then when you're in that circle, when you have that group with you, that creates a consistent pattern, a consistent practice. That's what's needed. I mean, how many times have you tried to start even a workout program and fallen off because you start and stop because you're doing it alone, right? It's the same with creating consciously in your life. You could be like, okay, I'm going to take this next new course and it's going to get me going. And so you do good for a month and then you fall off, right? We need the consistent circle of energy. We need the consistent support because life happens to us. And so we need to have some place to bring us back, right? That's what church used to do for people, right? It would bring them back every Sunday. It would bring them back, right? Take a breath, recognize what's important. But a lot of people don't want to go to church, right? And we need to create our own circles of our own tribes, of our own soulful people. And that's what my group will do is, and in a creative way, in your creative flow, so that we're consciously creating in our life as we go along. right? I know. Shh. Ouch, bit me. I know exactly how powerful your creative flow can be because I've used it in my life to create a life that I am loving. But I'm not done. There's always more to create, there's always more to grow into, right? But I know that when I'm at the canvas, when I'm painting, when I'm drawing, when I am playfully doodling in my art journal, when I'm journaling in my art journal and then being creative around it, that brings me into my center and my power. That's how I create. And that's what I'm sharing with you in the Soulfully Aligned You portal, right? So that starts in January, and I just want to introduce you all to it. If you want to get started now with me, I have a sneak peek to the portal happening. It starts this Sunday. So I hope you'll join me. We're gonna circle up together from Sunday till December 20th to keep coming back to our center as we move through this busy time. Okay, so that's there for you. The link is in here. So if you're interested, just click on the link to find out more, right? We're going to be doing guided group meditations. We're going to be doing downloads from Spirit through me in our group. Journal prompts, creative prompts. We're doing a shamanic painting, a totem painting together this month. Okay, glide through the holiday season with me with more peace and ease and flow, and set yourself up for 2021. Right? So today's creative activity for you, make sure that you have listened to the last 2 days of creative activities and tips so that you are getting the most out of all of this. So the one thing that I wanted to do for you today is like, well, what will bring you into the feeling of rising up out of that heavier energy, right? What what is going to help you rise up? And so here's the picture of the lotus that I played with. So I had a background of paint, just watercolor paint, and then I actually drew on this lotus flower, and I just kept doodling and creating more on top of it, and I colored it in pencil crayon or watercolor, whatever you want. Just the lotus is a representation of blossoming out of the mud, like out of that heavy energies, out of the darkness, out of the deep mud, out of all that contrast that's been your life, comes the beauty and the wisdom and the growth and the enlightenment, right? That's what enlightenment is, lightening up the load, right? So draw, paint, create the lotus flower. You don't have to have it perfect. You don't have to paint it. You could draw it. Just take a piece of paper. You could use a stencil. You could download a picture and trace it, right? Just get creative. Get in that creative flow and be in that space of, I am ready to lighten my load and blossom in my life. I am ready to create a life that has that beautiful 360-degree fullness of abundance in every way. It is time to let go of the past muck. Recognize the beauty that comes out of the mud and move on. Start to create fresh from this moment on. Okay? So, tomorrow we are talking about what trips you up along the way, the common things that trip you up. So, I hope you'll join me tomorrow here at noon again to find out more about intentionally creating in your life and um, the path to enlightenment, right? The path to enlightenment, lightening up your load and feeling really, really good. All right. Thanks for being here and thanks for putting up with my puppy barking. She just escaped from the room, so I need to go find her and make sure she's not chewing on anything. You guys have a great day. Love you. Bye.